Beef with broccoli is one of America's favorite takeout meals. If you have to order online or just DoorDash it or something like that, it can cost up to $80 for like 4 people or 2. How do I know? Because my children think they can just DoorDash anything when I'm not home. But guess what? You can make it at home for a fraction of the price, and it's going to take just as amazing as your favorite Chinese takeout. Actually, it's going to be better. Why? Because you have control over the ingredients you put in, you know what you're putting in your body, and with the right technique, you can make the absolutely best beef with broccoli at home in no time. I just made this whole dish plus the rice in about 20 minutes, and I am filming it. So that means I have to like measure things and make sure that the camera got the right angles, right? So it looks great on camera. But guess what? If I made that in 20 minutes in front of a camera, you can make it so much faster. The first decision you have to make is the type of beef you're gonna use. And in this case, I am using flank steak. You can also use skirt steak or sirloin, and it is very important that you cut it against the grain. If you see the fibers over here, they run this way, you wanna cut it against the grain, against the fibers, so the meat is tender and not tough or chewy. So instead of cutting it straight like this, we're gonna cut it in a 45-degree angle. This is not necessary, but it's easier if you cut the beef when it's a little cold. So what I did is I put it in the freezer for about 20 minutes before cutting it. That makes slicing it a lot easier. Now I'm cutting pieces that are not very thick. As you can see, we don't want like thick pieces. We just want to cut it in a 45-degree angle and about a 1/4 inch thick, or even less than that, 1/8. Now I know I have long pieces, and obviously I don't want to make my stir fry that with giant pieces, so I'm gonna cut these in halves or thirds, depending on how long they are. The next thing we're gonna do is we are going to marinate the beef. We're gonna use soy sauce, toasted sesame oil, and this is the one that almost looks like maple syrup in color. It's not the regular sesame oil. The toasted sesame oil has a lot of fragrance. It's super aromatic, and a little bit goes a long way. The next step is super important, and you should not skip it. We're gonna use a technique called velveting. Velveting is a Chinese technique into which the meat, whether it's pork, chicken, or beef, gets a marinade that includes cornstarch. It's almost like putting on armor of protection to make sure that you get super juicy, tasty beef. A teaspoon of cornstarch, or you can use potato starch. Lastly, the baking soda. Massage it all together, and done. If you don't like to use your hands, you don't have to, but in this case, I actually want to massage the meat with the flavorings and the cornstarch to make sure that all the pieces are coated. Now let the meat marinate for 20 minutes, and if you don't have 20 minutes, don't worry, just let it sit there while you prepare the rest of the ingredients. I know it doesn't seem like you added a lot of ingredients to this mixture. It's just a little bit of soy sauce and sesame oil. But again, we're not giving the meat a bath, we're just flavoring it, and the most important thing, we're velveting this meat. So it has that delicious coating that when you cook it, is almost like exactly what you get at the Chinese restaurant. So while the beef rests, we are going to prepare the rest of the ingredients. It's important that you have everything ready before you even turn on the pan. Why? Because when you stir fry it, everything happens quickly. So have everything set up and ready. All you have to do is quickly toss it into a pan, and we have dinner ready. The other star, the broccoli. I buy broccoli crowns like this, and the best way to keep it is in a bag in the refrigerator. Don't tie the bag because you want some air circulating. Or you can also, just like flowers, put it in a container with water, just like this. And you can put a bag on top. And this is how I keep my broccoli fresh for a long time. Now, time to cut the broccoli. So to do this, I know a lot of people simply just go down like this, but what that do is that it cuts into the florets, and you end up with a lot of little tiny pieces. Let me just show you. If I cut it like this, right, you just end up with all these little florets cut up. Which, you know, it could be good if you're making soup, but since we're making broccoli beef, I want to keep the florets more intact. So to do that, I'm going to cut some of these off, And you can save these for stock or soup. And then I am just going to pull the florets like this. These keep the florets longer and nicer. You can also use your knife if they're too big. And if you don't want to have a lot of the stem part, you can cut it shorter like this. And when you do, it just separates, see? Next, we're gonna make the stir-fry sauce. And for that, we need garlic. I'm using fresh garlic, which I'm going to mince. If you don't have fresh garlic, your next best option is garlic paste. All right, next, I am going to combine the sauce ingredients. This is the magic sauce right here. We're gonna use broth. You can use chicken or beef broth. I'm using chicken this time. A little bit of rice cooking wine and oyster sauce. Oyster sauce is going to give this sauce this rich umami taste out of this world. Again, we're mixing everything ahead of time because the cooking goes so fast that you have to have everything ready to go. Last but not least, we're gonna add the cornstarch. When you mix cornstarch, you have to mix them with a cold liquid. You don't wanna mix it in a hot liquid because the cornstarch won't dissolve well. We have our beef marinated, our broccoli cut, we have the sauce ready, and the garlic. First, we're gonna heat up a wok. Make sure that you heat it up until it's very, very, very hot. One of the things that you need to remember is that we want to stir fry the beef. We don't want to steam it. So we are going to do this in batches. Why? Because Chinese restaurants have very, very powerful heat sources. Their stoves are like super hot, right? At home, we need to do it in batches because if we put that much beef into this wok, it's gonna steam and nobody wants gray beef. We want stir-fry beef. First, I'm going to add oil into this very hot wok, and then I am going to stir fry the beef in batches. I did 3 batches. You do as many as you need, just to not overcrowd that wok. You also don't have to cook it fully because remember, we're gonna add the broccoli and then the sauce, and everything is gonna finish cooking together. In the last batch of beef, I'm also adding the garlic and just stir frying it quickly. So then we add the broccoli and toss it all together, and now we're ready to add the sauce. Make sure that after you add the sauce, you just keep stirring. Again, this is a stir fry. We're not even sauteing here, we're stir frying. So it's quick cooking, and as you can see, it's going to turn into this velvety, brown, delicious sauce. And if you see, the sauce is clinging to every piece of broccoli and beef, and it's just, oh, I wish you were here so you can smell it. Oh, look at that. Whew. My favorite time is coming. Time to taste it. There you have it. Beef and broccoli that tastes so much better than any takeout restaurant. And the thing is, it was fast, it's quick. You have control on the ingredients. You know what you're putting in. And let me tell you something. It is delicious. You won't need to call for takeout anymore. If you like this or any other of my recipes, don't forget to like the video, share it, and before you go, subscribe. Now, I'm gonna eat. Like, this is seriously very good and I really want to eat, so cut. Oh, geez, you woke her up, poor girl. Lazy bum. Today I'm making beef broccoli. Like the video and share with others. You never know who you are gonna touch that day in their private parts. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, share, and all those shenanigans because I really just wanna go eat. Bye.